How can a place, a single structure of brick, mortar, granite, and glass, inspire teaching and learning, ignite passion for inquiry, and infuse our souls with a sense of place and possibility, leaving us forever changed?
Gilman Hall is the focal point for the humanities in the university, and it is simply inconceivable to be a great university without a strong, vibrant core of humanities departments. And this hall, its renovation, its restoration, constitutes a celebration of the humanities at Johns Hopkins.
Hopkins, and particularly Hopkins Arts and Sciences, or at least that's the part I know best, is very distinctive among universities nationally in that it's always been easily, naturally, and strongly interdisciplinary in its conversations.
The philosophy at Hopkins is that the university was created, even though it was created as a research university, around a strong consciousness of the humanities and the library. And I think these are two aspects that we should never lose sight of.
In 1876, Daniel Coit Gilman became the first president of the Johns Hopkins University. A visionary educator, he developed the first American graduate institution based on the model of the German Research University.
When I think about the importance of the humanities, which live here in Gilman Hall, I think mostly about the value of knowledge for its own sake, which is something we need to remember in university life every day. And the heart of every university should lie where knowledge matters for its own sake. And that is what I think is truly celebrated in Gilman Hall.
The humanities connect us through shared experiences and common experiences and understanding divergent experiences.
People in the humanities have always provided the answers for what it is that we do on a daily basis, trying to understand who we are, why we do the things that we do.
The first question I get when I tell people I go to Hopkins is, do you want to be a doctor? And I mean, I do want to be a doctor, but I also want to be a poet.
Our modern culture, our modern society, our modern ideas, all bear the indelible mark of those who came before us. That's what the humanities explore.
Since the dedication of Gilman Hall in 1915, Johns Hopkins faculty and students have had a profound effect on all fields of the humanities.
I think Hopkins will always see the humanities as a treasured aspect of its panoply. How could we not?
Gilman Hall now is a building reborn. Light fills purposeful common areas that invite people to linger. More classrooms and seminar spaces, faculty offices, wide, warmly lit hallways, and a stunning archaeological museum are all part of an ambitious renovation.
Gilman is the history of Hopkins. Its architecture set the standard for the rest of the campus, and the fact that you had to go through it to get basically from one place to another really made it the focal point for the university.
You couldn't have the showpiece of the actual campus being in a little rundown condition. It just didn't work. And so I know they've been talking about this for years and years and years, but it was really Adam Falk who kind of galvanized the effort, and he said, this is something that we have to do.
Our charge was to take an old building and transform it into a modern building that would be here for the next 100 years. And that was very much on our minds. We kept beautiful old things, but anything that wasn't beautiful, merely being old, wasn't enough. So we're really very excited about how much modern building there is hidden inside of this historic shell.
Gilman Hall is the architectural symbol of Johns Hopkins University. It's the icon that in people's mind evokes what Johns Hopkins is and what it looks like.
The place looks really great. I mean, I have memories of Gilman Hall my freshman year, and the change is so dramatic that it's startling.
Finally, we're all in one place and able to just have these very informal but really informative interactions, even just for a few minutes. So that's exciting to see all of these people in one place.
There are spaces here, like in the atrium and the seminar rooms, that really do lift the soul and lift the spirits and create a real sense of excitement and awe about a lot of the most important debates in society today.
There's no other building like this on campus, and it's just so great that it's reopened and that all the students are able to take advantage of it.
It's been such a long time in coming. I find myself constantly amazed that the building has actually been renovated, and renovated in such a splendid and thoughtful way.
With a deep and profound connection to the past, carried forward by the reimagined Gilman Hall, Johns Hopkins will lead teaching and research in the humanities into the 21st century.
I don't think you can overestimate the value of caring about what people have done and thought in their lives, whether it's today or it's 5,000 years ago. And one of the things that I love the most about what I do is having students realize that what these people wrote and thought and the art that they created is all about just being a human being. And that's what the humanities is, and that's what Gilman Hall is now back to doing.
It's a challenge to convey the enthusiasm that people feel for this renovation, and it's so much more than naming opportunities and bricks and sticks and mortar. It was really about preserving the spirit of the building.
What I like about the new Gilman is that its design makes it easier to bring people together, much more so than the old Gilman did.
Gilman isn't just a building, it's a context. It's a context in which scholarship is born, and that's really what makes it a valuable investment for the university, because that's what we're about. We're about new ideas, we're about new forms of scholarship, and they can't be born without that community coming together to spawn those new ideas.